Hello, what's up my dudes? Welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, I'm gonna show you two ways how to joint wood without using a jointer. Pero syempre, I still want a jointer though. But since I don't have one, we're going to get creative and still get decent results. So here I'm just pairing planks, what looks good together, what goes where, and has nothing to do with the video. So yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment down below, do all those lovely stuff. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you guys. And now to the video. So with this method, I'm not actually very familiar, and this is my first time doing this, and I'm using the Lotus plunge router for this method. The plunge router is usually more powerful than the palm router and can carry half-inch shanks like what we're using today. This is a 2-fluted straight cutter bit. It is 2 inches long, which is perfect for my boards, which are 2 inches thick. And we're gonna position our board side by side and plunge route them down right in the middle, which I'm going to show you today. By the way, this method is very effective when you are going to joint very large, long planks. Heavy planks. Well, kung may jointer ka naman, that is the most efficient, effective way, I guess. But since we don't have a jointer, here we are. So first off, you need sawhorses, or in my case, I use my shop stools, or some things that are equal in height and you can clamp the boards down. So here I'm just gonna set up the board. So as I said earlier, they will sit side by side and then they're going to be plunge routed together at the same time. And I made a few mistakes in this run, so I'm going to walk you through it, what I did wrong and what I should have done, and what could be done better. So here I put some ply boards on top of the shop stools because I figured that the plunge router will run over my shop stools, which I don't like. So I placed the sacrificial ply boards there. So at this point, I'm still figuring things out. I'm still setting up the everything, and this is the only downside I got here. It takes so long to set everything up, the perfect distance between the boards, the straight edge that will serve as a fence for the plunge router, and if I'm going to hit some clamps along the way. So all that took so much time and more time. So if you can see here, the distance between the boards are tight. I prefer sana mas malayo pa sila sa isa't isa. And as I was routing, I noticed that I miscalculated somewhere. I noticed that I was removing too much material than I should. On the left flank, I was removing about 1/8, which is borderline for me. And on the right flank, I noticed that I was removing 1/4. OMG. And because I was removing too much material, I had to go very slow, making multiple passes, multiple small passes. As compared what I have originally planned, where I planned to take just a 16th of an inch, which maybe then I could make less passes and save lots of time. And here's my mistake number 2. As you can see, I plunged all the way down. Yes, you could consider this a mortal sin in routing. So there I quickly noticed that and lifted my router and did many small passes. So yep, I learned my lesson. So nonetheless, this is a very good method when you are going to joint very long boards, which if it is too heavy to carry to the table saw.
Pakita ko lang yung ibig kong sabihin, yung medyo malaki ang kain ko. Di ata kita dito. Nasaan na bang kamay? Ito na pala. So kita nyo, medyo 1/4 ish. Medyo 1/4 inch na ang kain nito, I think. So ito medyo sakto lang, parang 1/8. So maybe subukan kong i-1/16 pa both sides. So ang mangyayari, i-open ko pa yung gap dito para mas konti ang kain. So yep, tatapusin ko to. And ang main ano ko naman ay mag-joint. So yep, I hope magka-results kahit ang dami kong mali. Let's go. So yep, sawa na rin akong manood nito. Sobrang tagal nito, and I guess it is time to go to the next method. So yep, goodbye. I'm gonna show the results at the end of the video, so stick around, stay tuned, and let's go. Now for the next method, we're going to use a jointing jig and the table saw. The table saw is one of my favorite tools in the shop since you can be creative and do more than what it can do. So what we need for this method is actually very simple. We only need the jointing jig, well, aside from the table saw. We will need the jointing jig for a straight reference where the board can ride on and have a straight reference to copy so that it will have a very 90-degree edge. Very 90-degree. Yes. So it would be very, very nice to have a pair of rollers if your board is too heavy to handle, like this one. This is 2x6 by 8 feet, I think. Yeah, I think this is 8 feet, and I cannot carry this alone. So a pair of rollers would really be very, very, very handy. And safe. Safe, yes, safe. Safe is the word, safe. Yep, that's just that. There's not much to it other than that. If I was to pick between the plunge router and this method, I would hands down use this method. Unless I really can carry the board. Since the setup for this method is very straightforward, very simple, and very quick. So yeah, it's a case-to-case basis. If you have a good enough reason to do the plunge router method, do it. May it be safety or the board is too big, too heavy, or it is the only tool you have, go. But of course, with proper techniques, with proper clamps, everything, be safe. So I'm just finishing up all the boards with this technique since this is the easier of the two, really. So I'm just finishing these boards, and now I'm going to run them on the planer. I've already glued up both the boards from the plunge router method and the table saw method, and this is just going to be the final step before I show you the results. And by the way, a big thanks to our sponsor, Lotus Philippines, and a big thanks to our friends there for sponsoring this very beautiful and powerful thickness planer. So yep, at first I was scared to plane these very big planks. These are 2x12 by 8. So the capacity of the thickness planer of Lotus is 12.5 inches. So it has that very little wiggle room to wiggle. You know, 6'4" in the compact, no slack. So yeah, let me just finish with this planing so we can get on with our lives and see the results of the two jointing methods. So these are the results of the two ways to joint. So these two are from the table saw and jointing jig. This one is from the router one. So let's take a quick close look and see which jointing method made a better joint result. So let's go. So let's check the router. So as you can see, it's pretty tight. If I need to point out, this is the glue line. It's pretty tight actually, not bad. From afar you won't even notice it. So, but I think I saw a few here. This one is quite visible, as you can see. These two are the table saw and jointing jig. So let's take a quick look. So that's from the planer. So this is the line. As you can see, you cannot see. Joke, it's here. There's a bit yeah, visible, but this is quite close. Like you're like 6 inches from the table, so well, you can still see it. So I guess this one is a bit better, but from end to end it's actually not that visible. See here. So napansin ko in the table, so medyo nasa gitna ang margin of error natin. Both top and bottom sides are very tight joints, while here in the middle there's a bit of a gap. Where's the gap? There's a gap, and here's a gap. Wow, this is a big one. Better close this up. So overall I would still choose this, the table saw and jointing jig, because it takes less time and effort to set up, while this took so much time to set up. I guess 30 minutes. Well, that was my first attempt, so give or take 15 to 20 minutes per setup. This literally less than 5 minutes. You just need to set up the rollers, your jointing jig, the saw. So yep, if ever, I'm still going to go with the table saw and jointing jig. So yep, I hope you enjoyed the video. Go like and subscribe down below, share the video, comment whatever you want to comment, do all those lovely stuff. Mwah, 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 mwah. See you in the next one. Bye.